Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the workshop number 266. And please welcome the comedians that have joined me, your host, Kate Carlson, to do this lovely comedy workshop. We have Matt. I'm going to let Matt, you say your last name.
Yeah, so I'm Matt Bandura, but that's my Instagram handle, Batmandura, because, if you flip the letters of my first and last name, it's like Batman.
Batmandura. Okay.
Yes.
Matt Batmandura. That's really fun to say, actually.
Yeah, it is.
You might become that person I say the first and last name every time I speak it.
Fair enough. Hey, that's followed me throughout my life, so.
Fantastic. And then we have the lovely Carola Rossellini in the house.
Hi.
Hey.
Hey.
And last but not least, we have the fantastic Luke Severide.
Hello.
So I am lucky that I get to work with two of these comedians when life is normal on a fairly regular basis. And that's Kara and Matt. We all hail from the Pacific Northwest. Matt's joining us from Ontario, Canada. Is there a city that you live in, or is it just?
Yeah, I'm from Hamilton, Ontario. Lots of people are gonna instantly be like, "Oh, poor you." But if you know anything about it, our reputation. But it's like,
what's your reputation?
Well, Hamilton's kind of like the butt monkey of the province, because we have a high rate of crime and poverty for Canada, compared to the States, we're doing just fine, frankly. But for Canada, people are like, ooh, there's graffiti. Oh my God, I'm in danger, kind of.
So it's like the Bellevue of Washington.
I guess, yeah. We're kind of like the Baltimore. People say we're the Detroit of Canada, but really we're the Baltimore of Canada. Just keep it accurate, guys. Yeah.
Bellevue's a nice town here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we're definitely not like a Bellevue, Washington.
I just like that you called it a butt monkey. That's old school, man. You just called your entire town a butt monkey.
I mean, it kind of is, unfortunately. I mean, and people will say, because I'm from one of the wealthier parts of town, so people will say, well, you're not really from Hamilton, because I'm from Ancaster, which is one of the wealthier parts. So I'm just revealing my privilege here right away. Okay. But that's fine. But but it's people try not to say they're from Hamilton, but I say I'm from Hamilton. So you know what? I'm owning it, baby.
You're the second comedian I've worked with from Hamilton.
Actually, okay.
On this workshop, and you give us a lot of credit about what because really Americans, when they hear you're from Hamilton, they're like, are you in the room where it happens?
Yeah, people think the musical. Yeah, and they're like, oh, and I'm like, no, I wish I was in that musical. I'm not.
Well, you have the hair for it, I think. There's people with that haircut. Okay. So you guys, what we're doing today is the workshop, and we have 3 viewers right now. That's a full room, everybody.
Wow.
Oh my God. Hold on to your hats. But we are going to be working through some material. We all were given a word last week-ish. I don't know who worked on it today, but we were given a word, and we were going to write 5 minutes of material on that word. And then after each person does their 5 minutes of material, we'll go around and get a quick round of feedback. Then we're going to go into round 2 of this party, and we're going to do our own material that we've been working on that we were not directed to write. This is stuff we did on our own accord, and that came from these crazy brains of ours. And then we'll go and get some more feedback. It is a safe room, and by saying safe room, this is a safe place to really explore comedy and push those boundaries. But please be aware, comedians in the room, that when you push those boundaries, you might get a clap back. Because while it is safe for you to try out your comedy, it is also safe for us to give you our feedback. So be ready. If you want to push some boundaries, just be ready to hear what people really think. Okay. And we're trying to do this all with a positive attitude, not intentionally trying to hurt anybody in the room or be intentionally just disgusting. In however you interpret the word disgusting. Okay. We're all intending to be funny. So that's going to be a hit or miss, but let's go with our intentions. So are we all ready for this workshop to commence, my friends?
Yes.
All right. We're about to party. Okay, so I'm going to start tonight because I am your host, Kate Carlson. And my word today, bargain. I'm gonna have to get a timer out because I'm using my phone today. The bargain of my life is that on the day I host, my Wi-Fi is out all day freaking long. So my word bargain, I will get going. I almost felt a little typecast when they gave me the word bargain. I was bargain. Yeah, I'm all day on that one. I'm a mom of 4. Who doesn't love a good bargain? 10 for 10. Get in my cart. I love a good freaking bargain. Am I right, Kara Rose?
Yes, you are.
Oh, yeah. And it has to be at least 40%. Or get out of my face with that noise if you're talking 30, 25. 10%? Oh, thanks for covering my tax. Get out of town. I need a bargain. It's been fun. You know how Facebook reminds you of your photos, and I've been reminded, ironically, all day today of my awesome bargain hunting skills. Now, I will end with the coup de grace of bargain hunting today, because I feel like I'm the best bargain shopper in the world. Although, let's clarify. I want to get this out of the way before I start talking about the cool bargains I've gotten. I am not a fucking super couponer, okay? Those people are mad. Okay, there's no way I'm going to dumpster dive and try to steal all of my neighbors' newspapers so I can score free toothpaste. And not just free toothpaste, 87 tubes of free fucking toothpaste. I have watched those shows in horror. Okay, they should not call that show Super Couponers. Or if it is a Super Couponer, if it's an offshoot of the show Hoarders. Nobody needs 83 bottles of shampoo in their garage. Nobody needs to steal all those coupons. I don't find that a bargain. I find that a little bit gaming the system. I'm just saying it. Super couponers kind of suck. And thanks for putting up a line. Like, all super couponers know to do is hoarding and holding up the line at the grocery store. So that sucks. I don't want anything to do with those people. That sounds really judgy, doesn't it? When I heard it come out of my mouth, I mean, I don't hate you. I'm just going to judge you thoroughly, okay? But I love to shop at an auction. That's where I get my bargains, everybody. I go to the live auctions. Well, now it's all online, but it's a live auction. And I got a $2,000 dresser for $35. Yeah, that's a fucking bargain, okay? Oh my God. And everyone wants me to sell it, but I said, I like it. I don't want to sell it. Just the handles alone are like $100. So I'm thinking I could part it out if things get rough over quarantine. We're saving it for if my husband gets laid off. We'll start selling our bargain furniture. I also I got an $800 rollaway bar for $10. Like, what? I love profiting off the death of others. Are you kidding me? Estate sale auctions. It's a little creepy, but hey, I got a bargain. I'm willing to deal with a little rigor mortis for a bargain. All right, it might be haunted. It's okay. But if they had a rolling bar, they know how to party, right? We can have fun. I like my furniture with life. I got a $35 8-piece dining table. $35. So what? Somebody might have had sex on my dining table. I don't care. I have Clorox wipes. Lots of them. Oh, but don't let that get out. I might be robbed tonight for my Clorox wipes. I don't know. My sister hoards Clorox wipes. I think she's a super couponer. She's one of those people that bought like 80, no, not even 80. That's a low ball. She bought 300 bottles of hand sanitizer when the quarantine started. Yep, that's my sister. I'm related to her. I love her. She's fantastic. So my biggest bargain, I want to get to my biggest bargain. I've talked about my bargains that I get when people die. It helps the family. It helps the family. Don't judge me. But the best bargain I've ever scored, free babies. Yeah. I didn't have to pay a dime to adopt my children. And I get free medical for them for the rest of their lives. Well, the rest of their lives living in my house, or I guess their child lives. I guess till 18, damn it. I'm really extending this free medical, aren't I? For the rest of their lives. I shouldn't tell them that. But yeah, I'm kind of bargain shopper of the world if I saved $120,000 on adopting babies. And I'm about to adopt another one for free. So let's bump that bitch up to 160. I am saving money on the daily. All right, you guys, that's my bargain material. Thank you.
That's awesome.
All right, so I am going to go with I'm just going to go around the horn based on my screen. So Matt Batmandula, is that Matt Batmandura? I can't see.
Yeah,
it.
it's Matt Bandura, but it's the Instagram name. But yeah.
Okay, Matt Bandura.
Yes.
Your feedback,
so,
sir.
Oh yes, thank you. So my topic was black light.
Oh, Matt, we're going around and doing feedback.
Oh God, sorry.
Around to feedback and then
Oh
it's
my
your
God.
turn. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I
right.
really liked I really liked the estate sale joke. I thought that one was really good. And I liked how you ended on adopting. I thought that was really good. And yeah, I feel like one thing you could punch up is like the 40% sales jokes, because it's like, saying like a 10% off, like what even is that kind of thing? It's like, those tiny sales, like, are they even really sales at that point kind of thing? But yeah, I really liked it.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much, Matt. Luke.
So to tag on to what he was just saying, like the percent sales, I think if you just explain like 40%, like I like the 10%, that's just the tax. Like that doesn't save me anything. I'm using this and then dividing it by 6, like implying like your family size or whatever.
Okay.
Although I did enjoy that you didn't mention like, mom at the beginning, so that when you started talking about how you have adopted kids and that, like that was a little bit of a reveal. So maybe adding that earlier might undercut that a little bit, but cool. You brought up the hoarders thing. I was writing that down and then you brought it up. The couponers, they basically, they might buy a bunch of them and then resell them at a marked up price, making it harder for you to bargain. So like they are your natural enemy. They're the natural enemy of the bargain. So like, yeah, I mean, like in this, I mean,
I love the sound of that. They are those assholes.
yeah. I mean, they're the opposite of the thing you're trying to, the emotion or whatever. All right, whatever. You get what I'm saying.
No, I get it. It's so funny though. They're my mortal enemy.
They are. I mean, they are directly in conflict to your goal, which is to find a bargain.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the estate sales. I think you could probably expand on that a little bit more. You said how much that table or whatever was. It was supposed to cost and what you got it. You should do the math and say that's like a 92.65% off sale.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, that meets my threshold, right?
Yeah. And then you can say something about the table and you're like, so who cares if so-and-so did something like that? And you're just like, oh, what? You have a history? Me too. I've done cool things. You too. You and I are going to get along. Let's have fun. Like, and then, is your sister, is she a good gifter?
It's usually wipes and hand sanitizer.
Okay. Is that only during COVID or did she do that before COVID? Because that's a germ.
No, it's COVID.
Okay. But I just had a thought that if you do bring her up or whatever, there could be something like on if she gifts well or if she doesn't or how she does, something along those lines. If you're trying to write something to still express that you care about your sister, even though you're kind of like bashing her, like even if only momentarily.
You know, that's funny because I could roll it into I had this like rant because it was true about her she bought them all to use as client gifts. It's funny you bring that up. And I was like, I don't know what's worse, hoarding all the hand sanitizer or trying to do a business profit off of a pandemic. So yeah. I like that. She does try to gift things all the time. That's her excuse. I don't think she gifted anything.
And then the you bringing up adopting kids. I think that's something you should, if you don't already have jokes around. I do think the idea of being like the notion of like I'm being a good mom, but also there's this weird self-serving sort of like there's something to explore there. I think that's a funny place to work from.
You know, do you think it would be because I do it in my act. I talk about that, and you've heard that set that I do where I talk about flipping them. Do you think it would be funny if I went back and said, my God, I got my children for free? Like if I did it later in a set or before I would get to my adoption material.
I think it's a cool thing to reveal because that is a very unique aspect of you, of your experience. And you can have jokes. I mean, I don't remember your act entirely right now, so I'm going to kind of speak in broad terms, but you can have jokes about parenting and it doesn't undercut the punchline or anything. You can omit the fact that you have adopted children, and then you utilize that later because the surprise is a big thing. Or could potentially be.
For sure.
Well, I'm thinking if I did any material about bargaining and I get to my adoption material later, I could add the bargain tag as a callback.
Yeah.
You know,
well, I mean,
and tag it in with the parenting stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely easily a callback, but I'm saying like thematically, I think you could tie them together and it would fit nicely.
Absolutely. Awesome. Thank you. All right, Miss Rosalini.
I agree with Luke. I like the reveal part at the end. And I mean, I know you and I know you have kids and I know they're adopted, but that even took me by surprise. Like going into that was awesome. So the reveal is huge. And the surprise aspect of that was really cool. And then you could just go into that after, were you to mesh all, your sets together. Okay. So offshoot of hoarders or like hoarders adjacent, that's really funny. I love that. And it was quick and I wrote it down and then I lose my train of thought because I do that. But
I like hoarders adjacent.
Yeah, it's so
I like that.
But that was so funny. Because I was, oh shit, yeah, because it completely is. I think it's totally fine to rip on super couponers and them holding up the line because it's super annoying. And that's fine. Have your coupons. That's good. But I was thinking you could say something akin to how you may go through all of your items and use them all up by the time you actually get to pay if you're standing behind the super couponer. I'm not sure how exactly, but something akin to that. And then okay. And then I think I was writing this stuff down. So the estate stuff, I didn't really get to, I did catch the sex on the table. And I like what Luke was saying. I think about bringing up your own story. I don't know. I like that.
I'm sorry. It just cracked me up. I keep thinking, of course, you'd catch the sex on the table.
Well, I have not been alone with anyway, I'm not going to talk about that. So yeah, okay, that's I think that's what I had. I love the hoarders, the offshoot of hoarders. I think that's good.
Awesome. Thank you.
Great,
Thank you, everybody. I appreciate your feedback. And Matt, Are you ready to go, sir?
Yeah. Well, hey, I was ready earlier, so I'd better be ready now.
I was like, you really didn't like my material. He's just like, next.
Yeah, there was like, anyway, moving on. Time.
All right, Matt, please, the stage is yours.
Okay, so the subject I was writing about is black light, and I wrote a few jokes on that. So I feel like if places just shone a black light on people before entering, we could just solve the spread of COVID. Like now, like they don't want to be embarrassed to be revealed like how filthy they are. I mean, me personally, I'd probably look like an 80s music video if you shone a black light on me right now. But like, I let my freak flag fly. But that's why my dates always leave me whenever we inevitably go to laser tag. And I feel like, again, like, speaking of laser tag, I feel like black lights are almost exclusively used in locations where I fear I'm going to get kidnapped, or I was warned not to hang out around a Lona kid, like laser tag, mini golf, nightclubs. I mean, I'm a 30-year-old man, but the fear still remains with me. My parents just taught me too well. And it's like, you know, the employees of a laser tag place, like, are they paid to smoke weed with underage kids in the alley behind them? Because it seems like they are. Now, blacklight posters as well. I don't really do hard drugs, like, or psychedelics, so I don't really get them. But, you know, if I did, I'd be smart enough to come up with my own fantasies, okay? I don't need a picture of, like, Disney characters looking like a Dayglow nightmare over there. And I mean, to be honest, if you have to be on drugs to appreciate something, it probably just isn't very good to begin with. And I mean, as I was talking about before, you also have to be a very, very clean hippie to appreciate it, because, you know, you'd have to clean a lot whenever you turn on the blacklight posters, because, you know, the surface of my house would just be like glowing completely as well. And here's the other thing, like, black lights aren't even black. They're really just a very dark blue, just like foster children aren't all Jodie Foster's children. The English language is so misleading. This is like George Orwell's Animal Crossing here right now. And that's all I wrote right now. So.
Well done. Well done. All right, black lights. Ugh. You I thought it was very funny, the black light, everybody going into the business. I guess I didn't follow the COVID part of it, but so
oh, I guess just like to check if people are clean or not, but
yeah, so I don't know if the COVID, because like it's internal, but I think if you could find another disease or something, I don't know.
Okay.
I think that's a really funny idea. Like, there has to be a blacklight standard to go into a business on your clothing. That was a very visual. The dates leaving you at laser tag. That was a very like, oh, it's one of those. It's like, oh, very. It's very visual. Like, so, people might not shake your hand after the show, but.
Yes. Hey, I'm just putting it out there. I'm admitting.
It was a very funny, like, self-deprecating joke. I like that. And the part about the workers being paid to smoke weed with the kids, I think they do. I found that joke funny. You relied a lot. You talked a lot about your own personal hygiene, and it had a big ew factor, right? You were being very self-deprecating. I would suggest, and it painted the picture. Like, I really saw, like, your house. I don't want to touch the counters. The way I believe you. I believe when people tell me about themselves. So I would say you painted you were really good at self-deprecating, but please clean your counters.
Yes, will do.
Please, for your sake. And I thought the foster kid joke, or not all Jodie. I'm a foster mom. That's why we adopt. We've adopted all our kids from foster care. So when you said that, I was like, wait, I didn't even mention foster care. I thought you were talking to me. And it was so funny. They're not all Jodie Foster's kids. Very funny joke. I really like that.
Oh, thank you.
All right, Luke.
Agree with that. The Jodie Foster joke was very amusing. Keep that around and use it somewhere because that's a fun one. The black light, just clarification, were you just kind of saying like, I think that's just an overall deterrent to be anywhere in public when you just realize how disgusting everything is. So like in the short term, doing that would make everyone go, I'm not going to go here. And as soon as like COVID lessens up or whatever, then you remove the UV light forever. Be like, oh yeah, it's safe again. You're like, no, it's just as disgusting. Just you can't see it.
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah.
All right. Sorry, I almost jumped earlier. I'm like, nope, don't interrupt. Just remember it. Save it for later. The laser tag. I mean, okay. My only thought on that was that like I'm an uncle and I get high before I have to pretend because then I can actually just fully lean into it. So if my day job was working at a laser tag, dude, if I was high, I would be, what am I doing with my life? Like, if I'm high, so I'm like, let's have some happiness today. I'm like, you know, kick your kid's ass or something, or do a somersault. Otherwise, you're just a 34-year-old man running around a bunch of kids you don't know. That's weird.
True.
I might be projecting slightly.
Okay, Luke. It's okay.
Yeah, I know it's okay. It's just it's reality. We'll get through it.
We love you, Luke.
Yep.
But also, yeah, man, wipe your counters. Like, good. Come on.
Yeah, will do. If I learned anything tonight, it's that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's all I had.
Okay, so I'm with them on the foster kids joke. Super funny. And the delivery is so just rote. I love how you just stick with it the whole time. I mean, I love that. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, the black lights. Yeah, kind of dirty. That kind of
Literally.
that's it's all right. Your parents taught you too well.
Yes.
Really fun. I thought that was hilarious. And if you have to be on drugs to enjoy something, it probably isn't that good to begin with. Was my favorite of the whole thing. I thought that was
thank
great.
you. Somebody needs to tell those drug users what's up. I mean,
I thought that was So I didn't have many suggestions that haven't been covered, but I just wanted to point those out. That was great.
thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yay.
I think what we're going to do on the next round, I'm going to go reverse order. So Kara's not always the one at the end. You're going to get in the shaft at the end here.
But I was going to say that. Yeah, no, it's fine. It's all good.
We're going to mix it up. I'm just going to mix it up and I'm just going to go wild. So be ready, everybody.
Done.
Okay, Luke, go. No.
Okay. I had one more thought. I wanted to say. Also, just want to say, Matt, you're like the kid that whatever your version of Dare was in Canada, like it worked. You're like, don't hang out. This is where you get kidnapped. Don't. They're bad for you. Like, took it to heart. I like it. Okay. All right. Moving in. My word was forensics, which is exciting.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, forensics. I mean, it's basically just the science about how to figure out how somebody got murdered. Like, it's not even that new. Forensics is not even that new. Like, as a technology, we really haven't been using it that much that very long. Like, I wonder, like, it was so much easier to be a serial killer a while ago. Like, so much easier. Like, did you ever think that like some new serial killers just like, oh man, I wish I was here in the 70s? Like they made an entire documentary on one dude who just murdered everybody. Night Stalker, he killed like how many dozens of people? And they're like, oh, we can't get him. And like one person kills like 3 people and we're like, we got him now. Like there's so much, I don't know. I'm just saying it used to be so much easier to be a killer. All you needed to do is be like a little bit of a good liar. Someone's like, hey, you killed that person? You're like, nah. He said he didn't do it. Yeah, all right. That took a really long time to go on. I was getting uncomfortable watching myself. Silent. Okay, all right. Yeah, what was it? You feel bad for modern day serial killers, and you're just like, oh, I guess I'll just have to join a private security firm or something. It's cool. It's cool. We live in a fun world. Forensic. Okay, forensic. That's a like. Oh yeah, we like CSI and stuff like that. Did you guys know that like if you get like they ask you if you watch CSI as a juror now, and if you like watch too much of it, they're like, we're not going to use you because that would make the decision making good. Like that's a bar, but still we just can't be like, hey, the defendant, are they guilty of the thing they did? And the juror's like, well, I kind of did the same thing, so I'm going to vote for him to be okay. Politics are tight. Anyways, okay, that was good. All right. My girlfriend loves like all those murder podcasts and stuff like that. Like she's obsessed with them. And I've never understood that obsession because she's a tiny white woman. And that's like the main demographic of just like, you're just listening to stories of a terrible end to your story. Like I don't understand the fixation on that. Like I don't spend all of my days listening to it terrify me. You go like, oh, I just checked out this new podcast about how beard can bald. Oh, that's great. Just watch this. This is a 20-minute of some dude just fingering a stranger's belly button out of nowhere. Yeah, these are real. Oh, I just watched this new documentary about how this guy who dies alone. Yeah, made me feel, which is something I know you worry about people never doing again. You should check it out. Like, Jesus Christ. Right. Was that a little bit too into the darkness? Yep, a little bit. Yeah. It's okay. That's and I don't know. I think it's adrenaline junkies, and I don't know. It's intense. I might turn this into an action, but that's all I had on the head. Okay, so I'm done.
Okay, you doing good.
Yay.
All right. Hey, Kara, why don't you go first?
Oh, good. Okay, so first thing, favorite thing. Well, not a favorite thing, but the that thing right in the beginning, like they had it so much easier back then. I love that. But that's all about Luke. Okay, so I was thinking in this, all you had to do was be a good liar, like, the Virgin Mary. I don't know, maybe not.
Like the Virgin.
Going to Lent. My mother's a nun, so it's always on my mind. Feel bad for today's killers. What was I going to say about that? Oh, no, I like that. The feeling, kind of like empathizing with them today.
And sorry, just to go back, were you saying the so much easier? Did you just enjoy the act out of that, or was it the?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Like in the very beginning, you're like irritated when you felt, it seemed like you were like, so much easier back then. That was like 3 seconds in, and I love that. But that's so you. That's
okay. Well, I do think I'm sorry. It's act outs are good. It's kind of weird to try to do an act out through a camera. I do think if I want to make a joke about murdering people and being empathetic with like serial murderers, I think I would have to really act it out a little bit.
Yeah. Even the subtlety was really good. I mean, that's the first thing I caught. Okay, and then this, the girlfriend who listens to those scary podcasts. I don't know, you could say something akin to, it makes me wonder if I need to be spicing things up somehow. Like, am I not showing up in some way where I'm not filling her bucket, so to speak? I don't know.
Do I need to orchestrate an abduction? Like,
yes. So that, I mean, I don't know. I'm not answering that for you. But so those were my thoughts. So fun.
Yeah. Sorry, I like that. Like, is this what she wants?
Yes. Good.
Yeah, cool. To piggyback on that, I was thinking, Kara, what Kara just said is, are you asking me to like start choking you? I'm a little confused. What are we talking about here? You're confused at her murderous intentions, or her intended murderous intentions that you should have. I don't know.
her murderee. What's
she's
the other
murderous
side?
intent she wants you to have. I don't get choked. I don't do the choking stuff. It's not my jam. All right, Matt, I'll let you go next.
Yeah. I mean, I have to second most of what's been said. And I mean, it is definitely like a thing to mind, like how like a lot of white girls like serial killer podcasts. Cause honestly, like it's a thing. Like my mom loves and like murder shows too. Like she would watch like a solid block of them for hours. So it's definitely something to mind, like that like women especially love those like true crime shows. And yeah, it's like, yeah, and I like and I could see like leaning into that act out in the beginning of serial killers have it hard these days. Like I feel so bad for them. Like what other business are they going to get? But then you said the private security, which was good.
Yeah.
Political, speaking truth to power. I like it.
Yay. I'm a hero automatically.
You're a hero.
You're welcome. Cool.
Are you all done, Matt?
Yep.
Okay. I thought the Night Stalker part was really funny, and I believe didn't the Night Stalker get caught by 23andMe or something like that? Like they did, they ran the DNA through a private DNA.
That was Golden State, I believe.
That was the Golden. Okay. I was thinking.
Sorry, go ahead.
I don't know. Yeah, a couple murderers recently have been found years later because they sent DNA into like 23andMe, or whatever the other ones are. I won't send them my DNA. But now, like, for the cops can catch you, or Aunt Millie can catch you because she wanted to find out where her roots were. Or something like that.
I like the idea of someone also doing it maliciously, just being like, my cousin's always been a dick. Yeah, I'll send it in.
Yeah, I'll swipe his cheek or steal his cup, and send it into 23andMe. I think it's hysterical that these murderers are getting caught because their relatives are doing 23andMe. Poetic fucking justice in my book. I think that would be really funny.
Or like it'd be funny if they say, I found the craziest thing in 23andMe. I'm actually 2% Chinese. And and also my cousin's a serial killer, but whatever.
I mean, it'd be weird if it was written on that form for you.
Yes.
Yeah, and your cousin is Ted Bundy, something like that, the Green River Killer. They're like, oh God, I didn't want to know that, something like that, and you can act it out, like getting your 23andMe back and realizing you're related to a serial killer. I think that would be funny. Or instead, a detective brings you your readout and says, "Where's your cousin?" or something. And I don't remember anything about it. Like, I think I don't know if the serial killer was doing it, but the thought of it was hysterical. And that was when you said fingering belly buttons.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I was wondering if you guys were going to talk about that part because I was going to ask. Okay, that basically was me going, hey, what are some legitimate fears I have? Like, one, started losing my hair. If I was balding, I would be like, God damn it, really, God? Like, I would just be annoyed. So that's like a light fear. The belly button thing is just a physical. I don't like that. And then the dying alone is like, I think just a universal fear. And I want to watch the documentary about dying alone. Made me think of you, which is something I know no one's eventually no one do anymore. Enjoy. Like, just that might be a little bit too dark. I went a little existential today, but what do you guys think of just the idea? Like, this is clearly a huge fear, but also entertainment option. And I want to manufacture like versions of that for me. And that's what I was doing there. So,
okay. Just the thought of it makes me giggle.
Okay.
It's very visual too. It's a very visual. It creates quite a picture. It really just immediately puts a picture in your mind of like.
Oh yeah.
I'm cringing thinking of it. I legitimately hate the thought, and I don't like that I had it. I'm like, I'm happy it's resonating with you, but I'm also like, well, shit, that might mean I say it more often.
Right. Well, and it reminds me of the Pillsbury Doughboy. You know, the hee.
It gives me hives thinking about it.
One of the cutest characters, his end thing was getting fingered in the belly. And I never thought of it that way until now.
Yeah, it's not an appealing gesture. And also, if you are a dude who like, or a woman, if you start getting huskier, eventually someone's gonna hoo-hoo you, and you're gonna feel terrible.
Oh
no, women, they don't do that to women. I don't think. I think people feel more comfortable doing it to men.
Yeah,
I am a huskier gal, and nobody has ever poked my belly.
I think that
when
I was like, what?
Yeah, when I was in grade school, people did that to me because I was a chubbier kid in grade school. So they'd keep poke, and it wasn't just one poke; like they would keep doing it. So, you know, sorry to derail this with my child.
No, but I do think it's more of a man thing. I think people feel like they can invade a man's body. There's a lot of other ways people invade women's bodies. But I don't think poking in the belly button's one of them, unless they're pregnant, and then they touch the belly. But I think that's a shame that people do that to men. I know I do it to my husband, but not because he's big. It's just because it makes him giggle like the Pillsbury Doughboy.
So he's the demographic. No, I only did that because I was like, fuck, I don't know what. I was just like, I know what happens to me and my friends, but I didn't want to be like, I was trying to be inclusive and be like, hey, maybe you get fat shamed in a similar way as me. Like,
no, they don't do cute little hee-hees with women. They just call you fat bitch. It's real fun. They just like degrade you in many other ways, but that's okay. Fuck those people, right?
True.
Now people are going to just come up and go hee to me. I'm like, no, not what I meant.
Also, if this is a line that I enjoy and I use later, I just realized that is like opening the door for someone to try to finger my belly button.
Really? Yeah, you would have to be careful.
Yeah.
Drunk people will try to tickle you after the show.
Yeah. It's like, you know, when you're telling somebody not to do this thing, like that's the one thing they're going to think about doing.
Yeah.
Luke, if you wanted to add that in your act and that was something you were worried about, you could end that bit like, don't even fucking think about it. Like, get really aggro about it. And like, after the show, don't even fucking think about it. I'll lay you out. And just be real about it. And I think people will be like, oh, because you command this kind of, I could be scared or I could want to hug him, you know? So, if you want to add it, just be real, like, and don't fucking touch me after the show. Because I'll kick you in the nuts or something like that.
I agree with sentiment, but I've also been the guy who has expressed that amount of perceived anger and then had a terrible time afterwards. It's really hard to act like that and then be silly again because they're just like, Jesus. Like, I have a very angry looking face when I let it out. But
you can really elicit fear, I think, if you chose to.
You can just really elicit fear. Okay.
Yeah, especially after the insurrection, I think, unfortunately.
Oh, God.
I would like to say that I definitely cut my hair more often than most of them that went in there.
True. You have a very kept beard.
Yeah.
It's I look like a beard. Yes, your beard is very nice.
Thank you. I wasn't there. January 6th, I was in Puyallup, Washington. There's witnesses.
I believe Luke. He was not there. He's a good man. He would not do that.
Agreed.
Okay, well, this got really wild. I love it. Not like the insurrection. Like I'm using insurrection words now. It's gonna be wild. All right. So that was a lovely round. Now, last but not least, who you've all been waiting for, right?
Oh, strap on those seatbelts, people.
All right, let's give it up for Cara Rossellini.
Okay, thank you. So my word was breakdowns. So I'm wondering if I too was typecast. hoping no. But all I could think about was when I was living in LA in my early 20s, and my therapist kept telling me to go on antidepressants, and I was like, no, and she said, no, you must go on antidepressants and anxiety. I am imploring you to do so. So then I went on them, and I was like, oh, this is my niche. Like, this is my thing. I'm dark girl now who takes medication because she gets really anxious. Like, that's my thing in LA. I'm not ingenue. I'm sort of charactery, but that's my thing. And then I find out that everybody is on medication. Everyone. So I go out and get myself a nice little chemical imbalance, and then everybody goes and fucks it up because they've got one of their own, which led me only to be goth. Then I had to be goth, which is a total time suck, especially for an Italian olive skinned person. It's a lot of time and money to get that white stuff on. So then I moved on to witchery, which was a little more encompassing than I thought, with the spells and such, a lot of memorization. I liked it, but that just didn't work long either, which it finally, life's a journey. It's led me to the mafia person I am today. It's albeit librarian mafia. I'm not going to cut your head off. I'm just going to make you memorize the Dewey Decimal System. So I might take off a toe. The big one. I'll go for the big one, the one that went to market, because I've researched it, and it actually causes a problem with stability. So I don't mess around anymore. So I'm mafia. Anyway, so the COVID has caused some, breakdown of sorts, all different kinds. Some, you eat 12 Chips Ahoy on one day or whatever. People have the COVID fatigue is what they're saying, with they don't want to stay in anymore and they don't want to wear masks. And I was thinking, wearing a mask is such a small ask. It really is. And I feel like if there's anybody who should love wearing masks, it is the teenagers with the acne. I feel like, clean and clear, no thank you, my camo Gap mask. I think that's kind of more where they should go. I think they should be thrilled to wear a mask. I would have been thrilled at 13. In fact, I hear some middle-aged women are gunning for some around the eye face masks as time goes on. And the latest strain I hear has been particularly hard on the forehead, so we're going to go ahead and lock that up too. Unless, of course, you have your Billie Eilish Target beanie on. So that's it. That's all I got, folks.
Yay!
Thank you.
Oh my God. Okay, well, I'm finishing up my notes. Look at it. I was right in the middle.
I'm getting my notes.
All right, Luke, why don't you start us off this time?
Okay, cool. A thing you said actually reminded me of a bit that I used to do. I pull it out every now and then, but just the idea that like you think you found your thing, and then you just realize, oh, this isn't unique. I had some joke about like, lose my hair, so I grow a beard. I'm like, oh, everyone does that. Oh, I'll get tattoos. That'll differentiate me. Oh shit, everyone did that too. I have no edge. So I related to that. I like the idea of it being like this arc, like it's the antidepressants arc, like the break. Like you said, I'm going to talk about a breakdown, and then you just told the story of your life with antidepressants. Like it was just like, here's this whole breakdown. I like the stages. I don't know, just talking in larger picture things, I don't know if you've really done much with that in your act before, but I do think doing compare and contrasting with the different iterations of yourself could be useful, because like you were goth, then witchcraft, and now librarian. Those are all kind of like yeah, I don't know. There's going to be themes, a through line through that. And,
I see what you're saying. Yep.
yeah, and I thought the line when you said like the witchcraft, that didn't work. You're like, yeah, it's fucking witchcraft. Like you're throwing around some twigs. Like weird that it didn't work. And with the math stuff, I think to punch it up, I think you could go every iteration of a person. Basically, like, why would a man want to wear a mask? There's you don't have to worry about brushing your teeth as much, or if you have bad benefit, dental, if you have chapped lips, because I've had days where I'm like, my lips are chapped as hell right now. Like I just can't look. I look like I've just been a monster, and I'm like, I'm wearing a mask because it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Oh, I like that.
Yeah, just versions that are universal to bring them in, because the mask stuff is, we all know it's a cluster. So
Right.
Good punches to prove your point around it without like shaking a finger too much. I think that'd be easier to get the point across.
Yes, that was definitely not. That's good to hear, because that's not what I do typically.
Yeah. Well, I think we're also just living in a time where it's impossible to not discuss many subjects and have that be a part of the discussion. And it's just like, oh man, I thought this was used to be about two things, and now it's everything. Fantastic.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks, Luke.
All right, Matt.
Yeah, I liked how like the LA part, how you sort of think you're unique, but then it's like everybody's on medication. Then it's like, God, is everybody a tragic inspiration in this town like I am or something? And like, yeah, and like and I just find it weird that there are goths in California in general, because it's very much the opposite. And I feel like with the librarian mafia, like part of it could be late fees, kind of like, you borrow a book, you've got late fees right away. I need $500 right now. Kind of. Yeah.
Actually,
yeah, I liked it. Yeah.
Thank you. I had that too. I had, you won't find a horse head in your bed, but you may find a copy of Black Beauty. Probably overdue copy, but nonetheless. Okay, so that's okay. That was thank you.
That's good.
Oh, no worries. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. I loved how you started it. It was so Kara. It was talking about your therapist, and you're like, no, I implore you. Like that just felt like your vibe, and it really was seamless. Like it seemed like something you work on, you have in your act already, not what you just wrote. That was really fun. And when you talked about, everyone, this is my thing, and everyone, the deadpan delivery of that was really good. I like that.
Thank you.
The goth is a total time suck. I think talking about some of the extra things about it that suck your time, what could really be funny. I liked how it just kind of progressed, the witchery, and unfortunately it glitched a little when I was listening. I don't know if that happened to anybody else, but the witchery part was good. That brought you to the mafia person you are today. That just cracked me up because I know you, and you just are so not mafia. But also when you use the toe, the piggy that went to the market, that delighted me, because when I've broken my toe, I'm always like, it's the pig. I broke the piggy that stayed home. Whenever I'm describing, the one that stayed home. So I really, that just seems like a mom thing to do. I don't know. I loved it.
Thank you.
And taking off the big toe, like you're a stability gangster. Like it's so funny. I just like it. I want to fuck with their stability because that's how gangster I am. Or something.
Oh my God, stability gangster. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought.
That's so. Thank you.
And You're welcome, love. I just thought the progression of the masks was really funny. Because I'm covering up all the stuff that I get from, like, now I feel like a teenager again because of the masks.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you could flip that too. Like, thanks to masks, we all look like teenagers now because I definitely get breakouts from wearing them.
So true.
So that could be a funny twist. Yeah.
Okay.
But that was really good. It felt very, very Kara Russellini vibe. So I liked it.
Wow, thank you. Thanks, you guys.
All right. Is anybody, we're in round 2 now. So this is the official moment where we go into our own material, new stuff we're working on, stuff that came from the mad minds of the 4 people in your screen right now. Is anybody feeling extra madness? Because we could go rogue and just go out of order, or do we want to keep the same order? Okay, y'all are just not speaking up, so same order it is.
Same order is fine.
Yeah, we'll go same order. So I'm gonna, let me get my time up. And nobody's really been going over 5 minutes. So if you're on your new material, I'll give you a 4 when you have a minute left. Okay.
Okay.
4. All right. All right. I am Kate Carlson. Thank you for coming to my party. Hi. I had a really interesting moment the other day. I survived a car accident. I did. And I learned a few really fundamental things about myself in surviving this car accident. So I wanted to share the story with you guys today, and hopefully you'll understand some of the things I found out. I was driving down 405. That's a main interstate here in Washington. And it's about 4 lanes and a toll lane. I don't know if you have toll lanes. I know we have somebody from Canada in the audience. But here in Washington, our toll lanes, we have a little slide thing, flashes, charges to your account, double white lines. Don't cross those unless it's a dotted white line or you're going to get a ticket. And it's been a new thing in Washington. I like it because I have a lot of kids in my car all the time. I get to go free all the time. But this day, I was in the regular lanes because I didn't have the kids. Lucky me. I was off to a riding retreat. It was fantastic. And we were very safe about it. Don't worry. We were socially distant. Actually, we spread COVID to everybody. No, we didn't. Okay, so we just all went for the herd immunity while we were riding. No, we didn't. But I was driving. I had the music bumping in my car. It was so nice because I can't listen to my dirty rap with the kids in the car. So it was fantastic. Bumping some Biggie in my car. And it was kind of this misty rain in Washington. We get this really crappy misty rain and it almost makes for zero visibility. It's not raining hard, but it's raining enough to really mess up your windshield. And I said to myself, Self, you need to slow down. These are bad road conditions. Slow your roll. And because I like myself and I think I'm pretty smart, I listened to myself and I started to slow down. Not more than 10 seconds later, I kid you not, the car in front of me slammed on its brakes, skidded sideways, and backwards T-boned. I like to call it perpendicular boned the car in front of it. Now, I have to take immediate evasive maneuvers because I am about to crash into this car in front of me. So I jerk my wheel to the left, which means I'm about to cross over the double white lines. Uh-oh. This is where I learned something extremely fundamental about myself. Because as I was crossing over those double white lines to save my life from impending doom, simultaneously, I reach up with my other hand and switch my good to go toll pass from toll to HOV so I can save 75 cents. Simultaneously, my friends. Three quarters. Where's my Look, can you hear me now? Look, 3/4. 75 cents. It was in this very moment that I learned something fundamental about myself, my friends. It was at that moment that I realized that I am one cheap ass bitch. Oh my God. Literally, it took me no time to save 75 cents and another mile and a half to call 911. Yeah. People could be dying behind me and I'm saving 3/4 and saying, fuck you. I was very freaked out. Back, like, that loops around to my bargaining. Like, you guys know I'm a bargain hunter. What can I say? I'm not going to be charged 75 cents for somebody else's stinking accident. Are you kidding me? I have a bottom line at home. I'm going to save some money. Okay, you guys, there was one last thing I'm going to leave you with today that I learned about myself in that moment, too, that was very fundamental. If you didn't catch it, I think I'm clairvoyant. Yeah, I saw that shit coming and I avoided it. So, in honor of that moment, I decided to come up with some merch. You can get my number after the show. That is my merch, my phone number. You can call me anytime. It's only $2.99 a minute. And the first minute's always only 75 cents. Have a good night, everybody.
That's great.
Thank you, Kara. Let's see. Kara, why don't you go first again?
Okay. The moment you talk about, I mean, because you're completely enthralled in the story, partially because I'm like horrified that you're in an accident at all, but the reaching up is so funny. It's so good. It's hilarious.
It's so true. It's all true.
I mean, and then it's funny you said the clairvoyant thing at the end because you completely set that up earlier. I didn't think anything was going to come back, but I was like, oh, she knew that was going to happen. And then to come back and twist it into being a person you can call and psychic hotline or whatever. I thought was hilarious, which you could punch up more. I mean, you could just probably go down that rabbit hole of being a psychic. I don't know, maybe throw in, this is all just coming to me now. I don't know, just throw in things before, maybe language that psychics use. I don't even know what that is, but
I like that.
Maybe it'll come to me.
In a vision.
Yeah.
Miss Cleo, maybe.
What's that?
Miss Cleo.
Yeah.
Thinking of psychics. Call me now.
God, I'm gonna think about different things, but that was hilarious. I was completely hooked immediately on your story, and then yeah, really funny.
Thank you. I appreciate it. All right, Matt, let's go to you second.
Yeah, I really liked it. I thought it was very polished and and the twist was there that the saving money in the HOV lane, actually being from Ontario, I can relate to that because we have an HOV lane as well. And it's like, oh, we don't have to pay for it, but if there aren't like at least 2 people, you get a big fine. So it's like, yeah, it's relatable. Yeah, I really liked it.
Awesome. Thank you. All right, Sir Luke.
Okay. Enjoyed it. You bargain. You're a bargaining lady. I meant to say this earlier, but like if you work into that is a good opening bit, or in the opening establishing introduction to the audience, because that is a part of what makes you. And then you do a callback with the tying it in with the having foster kids, and then using this as a quick callback, not a thematic one, but like it is kind of thematic, I guess. But at the end here, as that is the theme, like that is the thing, like you're fearing for your life, but you're still just like, I ain't gonna pay. I'm not gonna overpay on this, man. If I die, I'm gonna die like getting the best deal.
Right.
Yeah. That's really fun. And also it's just like, oh, this is a genuine, this is who you are. I think the introduction, the exposition, you could tighten it up because a lot of that was you like bringing Matt and everything like that. I think an easy way to do that, or like the main parts to do that, is talking about how normally you're always in the HOV lane, but today you are not. You're solo.
Okay.
Also, maybe the joke, and if you can have some good lines about the differences between that, it might be easier if you're just in the car with all your kids.
Yeah.
Like if one is, so they're not thinking of two different car trips, they're thinking of just one. You're in the car, you're in the, well, no, you wouldn't be in the HOV lane. Introduction,
Well,
talk about
I was just thinking about how I usually, like, if I have to go somewhere and it's trafficky, I usually drag one of my kids along so I can ride for free in the HOV.
Talk about that, 'cause as a this is a someone who's always on the outside looking in. We hate you. Like I see that. I'm in a minivan with one baby in back, and I'm like, fuck you. Just because I didn't leave it in and get responsibility, I have to sit in traffic.
So you're the one, Luke. You're the one flipping.
I'm not alone in this position.
But Luke, you don't have to wipe that baby's ass later, so you're pretty lucky.
Lucky when it comes to baby poop, but I might have to wipe my ass depending on how long I'm able to hold this Taco Bell in check. Easy joke. I'm sorry. That's important.
That was good. That was good.
But
So-
I think you could just expand on that. Like you write some jokes, maybe play in that, because you are doing both things. You could take my viewpoint while you're stuck in traffic. You're like, this sucks. All you peasants out there stuck by yourself. Ugh, I don't like it. Oh, it's rainy. Like, they're flipping up water in front of me because I'm right on them because they're right on me. And I don't have the freedom of, it's all packed in my car with 17 kids, but there's no cars in front of me. It's delightful.
Okay. Yeah. So you were talking about to open with this. Do you think that it's would you put that at the beginning of a set?
No, this would be like
That's
this would be in the end, maybe even like you could
okay.
even close with it. Like that's also I like to close with a callback.
Story.
Okay. I like to close with the callback. It's not for everybody. It's not something I always do, but if you can make a good joke that also has a callback, that's kind of like a leg up on being like, I'm gonna leave on a pop, like a good punch. And I think three, you do it at the intro or something like that. You have another joke that references it again, and then if you use this as a quick one, that could be really good. I would say no more than 3 during a set. But yeah, I would save this story for the end.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much. That's one that I've told the story, but I want to expand on it and punch it up a little bit. So I've been kind of throwing it by you comedians, and it's been helpful. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I would say to dive deeper into the emotions of those other perspectives and figure out what you can write around that to even flesh it out further. And just one more thought. You said 75 cents a minute. You could charge that or every mile and a half, whichever is first. Like this as a referencing the thing you just said. And if someone calls you, I don't know what you're trying to remember psychic names, but you could just be like, I'm sensing that you're easily tricked into giving people your money.
One gal told me that's a great opportunity to do some crowd work once you drop that you're a psychic, and like I'm going to give a free reading and just start, but having some tagged lines instead of like real crowd work. I mean, doing real crowd work, but also have some canned stuff that's really funny and the audience won't be expecting.
Yeah, find some think of some silly lines in that range, but that is going to be, you're going to have to get out there and just work it out, because you're going to come up with good responses based off of multiple interactions with doing the crowd work. But I think that like the John Edwards medium, you're like, does someone with a consonant? I'm detecting someone who knows something starts with a like stupid.
Yeah.
John Edwards.
So I'm excited to play that out once we're back in person with people. That I think that would be a fun way to roll with that too. So thank you so much for that feedback, you guys. Really, I think that this has some quality to it. That's why I've never thrown it away, and it literally did happen. And I was just like, shaking my head at myself the rest of the way to Ocean Shores. I'm like, I'm such an idiot. And then I'm like, did that really just happen? Like, I felt like I might have been hallucinating. I'm like, I'm such a cheap bitch. It is really pathetic. But hey, I'll admit it. I'll admit it for laughs. All right, Matt, why don't we hear some of your material, sir? Let's go.
Yeah, so I did write some new material for this. So yeah, so the first thing I have is, so this has been going around viral. There are these recent posts about Gen Z versus millennials. And Gen Z likes to part their hair in the center. They don't like side parts and they like skinny jeans. And you know what? That makes me really mad because my hairline isn't what it used to be. If I do a center part, it's gonna, you know what? It's gonna look like I'm thinning. And you know what? These skinny jeans are actually compression stockings because my circulatory system doesn't work like it used to. I'm just old, okay? You don't need to remind me all the time, Gen Z. And you know what? It's so weird how Gen Z is all about the generations. Like, I'm pretty sure this millennial baiting going on is just a psyop from the boomers. And because I'm a millennial, I have to blame them. Can we stop, dividing people into generations all the time? Anyway, I had to shovel my driveway today. And you know what? The thing about shoveling your driveway is when you notice your neighbors who have snow blowers just seem so smug when they're doing it. They're just walking around their driveway, gallivanting around. And here I am shoveling on the verge of a heart attack. And, they're just not exhausted at all. And you know what's even worse? When they come over with the snowblower and they start offering to do your driveway. Like, no, I'm not your charity case, Tyler. And I'm not going to offer you hot chocolate after you do this. These snowblower bastards. Oh yeah, and it is Pancake Tuesday today, so happy Pancake Tuesday, happy Mardi Gras. I almost forgot it was Pancake Tuesday, but you know what? I saved dinner in the last minute, and yeah, I got pancakes. And that Lent starts tomorrow too, so you better know what you're gonna give up for Lent. I don't think I should give up anything this past year because the pandemic has made me have to give up enough. So if anything, I'm going to do a reverse Lent. I'm just going to indulge more for the next 40 days. So video games all day, lots of beer, lots of wine. Hell yeah. So the other thing that's going on in my life right now, I'm kind of just riffing. I didn't just write this down now, but I'm doing a master's degree in English. And you know what? You're going to think I'm going to read some really highfalutin literature. But guess what the next book I have to read is? Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Yes. And you know what? I'm not going to do a symptomatic post-colonial reading of it like you'd expect. I'm just going to write an essay about how chocolate is yummy. It's great. Yeah. So one thing, the thing about appearance too, like I was talking about appearance earlier, is, we as human beings spend like thousands of our dollars and hours of our time just to look good, just to look decent. And I mean, it's like, are human beings that fundamentally ugly? I mean, I go through this anxiety myself. Like, honestly, if it were more socially acceptable, I would wear makeup if I could. But, as it stands right now, I don't want to get beat up. And also, you know what they say, guy liner leads to guy braiders. And I'm not afraid of the pain. I'm afraid of the pleasure. If I look behind me, my plants are kind of dying right now. So everybody watching out there, try to ignore the plant abuse. Don't call the FBI on me. I'm probably gonna forget to water them after this, but they'll be fine. They're snake plants. They live a long time. And that's the other thing that annoys me is like my sister actually names her plants. But you know what? She kind of bullied me as a kid. So it's like, you know what? Your string of pearls Chester is doing well, and you're gonna post about how he's doing, but you're not gonna talk about how I'm doing. How dare you, Jessica? And that's my set for now.
Thank you, Matt. Luke, why don't you start us off?
Okay. So the generational stuff, I honestly, man, as soon as everyone starts listing off generations, I kind of like my eyes glaze over because I'm always like, okay, what age group is it? I'm a millennial. Where does that end? Where does that begin? Gen Z, Gen X, I don't know. Like I know boomers, but I like the idea that each generation is always going to attack the new one, even though they're like the closest to them to like help. Mm-hmm. And it's just such a, I don't know. And that everything, like the themes, like you talk about like boomer, like baby boomer apparel and how millennials shifted and like each iteration, how it's all these haircuts and then how it ties to you. And maybe you could even talk about which one you rest with easiest. And you've always identified as that. You're like, I mean, those could be kind of seen as hacky jokes at this point, but just that sort of perception of it. Let's see what is, snow blowers. I mean, I don't own one, but if I did, I would be so happy anytime I got to use it because those aren't cheap. That's just like, yo, man, I just spent $500 in hopes that like I have a chore later and I get to do the chore fast. Like as soon as it happens, you're just like, got to get my money's worth. Like, but I think you could even draw up, like use that as justification for even more like animosity on your side. You're like, oh, look at my neighbor is able to save. He can afford $500 and blah blah blah.
Like this is the Cadillac of snowblowers. Yeah. This is like I'm rocking a Lamborghini snowblower,
and you're sitting there like still shoveling, just like the equivalent of like someone who has a nice car. The equivalent is you just having like a donkey. You're just like, I'll do it manually, I guess.
Exactly. Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
And then you talked about also, what is Pancake Tuesday?
It's Mardi Gras.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm a Catholic. I won't say I'm a good Catholic, but just I grew up with like Pancake Tuesday and Lent.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't grow up that brand of Christianity.
Fair enough.
Would any Catholic ever say they're a good Catholic? Because I feel like
most of them don't. That's the whole thing. People are, most people aren't good Catholic. There's no such thing, basically.
Guilt is the cornerstone. Guilt is the cornerstone. You can't feel good about yourself at all. You're not a good Catholic if you feel like a good Catholic.
It's true.
That is arrogance, and pride cometh before the fall, and that's what Lucifer did. So, boom, gotcha. You're the devil.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you talked about Lent coming again, and how you're going to do the opposite. It should be called Indulge Lent. Mm-hmm. As I said it, that pun felt gross. Anyways, and then if you want to wear makeup, man, get the fuck out of your butt monkey town. Like, what are you doing?
I don't actually want to wear makeup, but I mean, I could if I wanted to, but I just don't want to. I secretly say as, I'm just gonna.
You want to get invited to the party so that you can turn down going to the party.
Yeah.
Okay. There you go. All right, that's all I have.
Thank you.
Right.
Yeah.
Miss Kara.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't know why I actually have generation jokes as well. But you saying compression stockings and that's what skinny jeans are. It's so funny.
Thank you.
So funny. Shoveling snow. I'm with Luke. Like I like the idea of. Well, and then what you said about having that differentiation and what you have and a donkey or
versus like a
buggy and I don't know horse or whatever that was. Let me see. Okay, guy liner leads to guy braids. Is that what you said?
Guy braiders.
I want to know,
Like a male vibrator, a guy brader. But you got to keep it masculine. You can't just say vibrator.
That's
You
a
have to say
fleshlight,
guy
isn't it?
brader.
Oh,
Isn't that a flashlight?
I guess no, it's definitely not a flesh. It's a guy braider. It's
guy
But
liner leads to
it's
guy.
not a woman vibrator.
I mean,
Guy
it could
a
be a
vibrator's
woman
a vibrator?
vibrator, but I mean,
Well-
it's.
I thought you were a guy like braiding a girl.
Yeah, I was
hair.
confused with that one too.
Okay, I
didn't
need
know it was guy
subtitles. Usually I'd have subtitles in my set doing it live, but
But it's funny. I want to hear where you're going more with that. Like, I think I don't even know where you go with it, but I would love to hear more of that stuff. Cause I'm like, it's cause it's really funny. Guy liner leads to guy braids. And then, your plants.
yeah,
Don't
they're
call
dying back there.
PPS on me, Plant Protective Services. I don't know if that's too dark, but
Oh yeah, playing.
and then chocolate is yummy. I don't know, just your delivery. It's so funny. So
Thank you.
those are, I think that was it. Yes.
Thank you. Yeah.
I thought when you used the word Tyler, who are you talking about? I put Tyler. Ha ha ha. Tyler
I just had to come up with a random name
I
for a
liked the pick of
neighbor.
that name,
Like,
Tyler. That pick of the name Tyler was funny.
oh, thank you.
Also, don't tell us you're riffing. Just riff. It disqualifies you. It disqualified your jokes.
Oh
It's
damn
like,
it.
these are gonna be
Okay.
bad jokes. Because it's almost like you're excusing your jokes, asking to tell. It took away. Your riffing was great. Just don't tell us you're riffing.
Thank you.
Go with it.
Thank you.
The snow
I should call my jokes "These Old Things" by Lil Old Me.
Yeah, there you go. The snowblower part. See, now me, I was like, he offered to snowblow your driveway, and you said no. He pays $500 for a snowblower, and all you got to pay is a cocoa. Like that's a bargain.
Yeah.
It's wrapping into my material. Like, get the bargain.
True.
I feel like I need to come clean your counters and teach you about bargains. But yeah, I kind of thought like you could flip it, like, snow blow my driveway, asshole. You could still have disdain for him and just make fun of the fact.
Yeah, it's like, you think that snowblower is so great,
right? I get the same snowblower for a cup of cocoa. You pay $500, you fucking idiot. Something like that.
That's funny.
Yeah, you could even have him like, this neighbor does your taxes for you. He does like everything for you. And like, you just clearly hate him, but he's actually just like such a good person. And you're just an asshole.
and I just have
This asshole wants to
He
pay
offered
taxes now. Yeah.
He offered to water my plants for me. What a dick.
Yeah.
What a dick. No, you can't feed my fucking cat. Okay, well, if you do it on Tuesdays, you can.
Yes.
Fucking
Why you're
asshole,
gonna
you
watch
have
my
to.
house when I'm on vacation? Ew, no. I just
No, I think you should use everything he's offering you, but then just have utter disdain for him. Like, what a fucking idiot. I think that would be hysterical. That's where I really saw that kind of that pull, of your neighbor. So, because take the bargain, let him snow blow you, man. Let him snow blow you. You could just say, my neighbor keeps trying to blow me. I mean, snow blow my driveway.
Oh yeah.
That would be kind of funny. Yeah, great job. I thought it was really fun. But don't tell us you're riffing, really. That was probably the biggest thing I wrote down. It's like, why is he telling us this? Don't pull back the curtain, wizard.
Okay, fair enough.
All right, great job, Matt. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Luke, Severide,
Cool.
round 2.
All right, cool. This is all riffs. No. So this is something I've been trying to work out. last March, I'm sure I want to open up this joke when I have an actual audience and maybe do some crowd work and ask people like, what is the main thing they missed since like COVID hit? Because for me, it is live stand-up. Like that is my favorite thing. And its absence, like I did not handle it well. Like I handled it. It honestly, it felt a lot like a breakup. It felt like I'd been dumped. And I'm not good at being dumped. Like I'm the type of person, like when I get dumped, I react the same way as someone would if they had found out they had to like run a marathon the day the marathon's happening. Oh, what do we do? I thought we were just getting coffee. What's happening here? These are not good shoes for this. I am not stressed at all. Oh, I am ill prepared. I'm wearing a shirt you bought me. This isn't going to be good. Yeah, it wasn't fun. But happens. Been working through it. Stand-up is still my favorite thing, so I have gotten some opportunities to do it here and there, like legally, and then also maybe not so legally. And it's weird because it doesn't feel the same. It honestly, it really feels like hooking up with an ex that you're still like hung up on. Because like in the moment you're like, this is great, and then afterwards you're like, oh my god, we're back at it. I'll see you again. And they're like, no, it was just tonight, weirdo. You're like, no, cool. Yeah, that's exactly. So that's actually what I thought. I was gonna say that's what we should do. That it should just be like a one, like whatever, super chill. Don't even worry about it. And then afterwards, I feel kind of gross just thinking. You're like, man, I was safe, but I don't know if I was safe enough. I should probably still go get tested. I don't know where they've been. Who they've been talking to, close in their mouth. Like they can do what they want, but also I'm uncomfortable. And I've been enjoying it, but also like I can't post about it. I can't like tell anyone, show anyone anything that I've done. It's just like posting pictures with your ex. Because for sure someone's gonna be like, what the fuck are you doing? That is so unhealthy. Why are you doing this? Which I understand, probably not the healthiest, but I also think that if someone who wants to yell at me about that, if their ex was responding to their text, they might have a different fucking point of view. Okay, that's the end of that. Got preachy at the end. Speaking my truth. Okay, moving on. Next one. I'm not religious. I would love to figure out how to get into any material about religion without bringing that up. I was raised religious. I'm not anymore. There's the exposition. The further I get away from being religious, the more I feel like just kind of all organized religions are just like a lot of book clubs that have gotten a bit out of hand. It's just a bunch of people who are like, this is the best book. It was my dad's favorite book. It was his dad's favorite book. It was the best book that's ever been a fucking book. And then some other guys are like, no, this is the best book. It's the best book that's ever been a book. It's my dad's favorite, his dad's favorite, his dad's favorite. Let's fucking fight about it. There's like so many books. They got like the Bible, Quran, like they got Facebook. That's someone's favorite book too. And anytime people are fighting, like they do that. It's been going on for centuries. And I was like, yo, did you guys know there's other books? Like, have you heard of Harry Potter? Like, it's pretty. I mean, it's not that. There's a guy, he dies, he comes back. There's a talking snake. Like, there's a lot of parallels. You love it. But I don't want to encourage people to get into Harry Potter, really, because Harry Potter fans are just as fanatical as any religious person I've ever met. You just go on a date and someone's like, "Oh my God, what house are you from?" You're like, "What house are you from? What house are you from? What house are you from?" It's mom and dad. Like what? Mom and dad. I'm like, you seem like such a Slytherin. You seem like such a Slytherin. Yeah. And you seem like a waste of my fucking time. Which, if I'm being honest, is a bit of a Slytherin thing to say. So. All right, cool. That's all I had for today.
Oh my God. Yay. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm going to go first on this round because I haven't gone first in a while. The COVID comparing COVID to a breakup. I thought that was funny.
Mhm.
And the marathon. Oh my gosh, that was really funny. The best line in that marathon part was, "These are not good shoes for this." Oh my God. I love that line.
That was the first thing I said. Maybe I should shift it a little bit back. Maybe I should ease into that.
Yeah, that's a very funny part.
Because the absurdity
These
of
are really not the right shoes.
like imagine being dumped and you immediately look at your shoes and you're just like, oh, wish I had better traction.
I'm gonna be
really
honest about this right now. And do what you want, right? This is what it is. But I would my reaction to the maybe not so legally part is like a breath in. And I think that saying that and going on that can kill part of the audience. No pun intended. But I think people have such strong opinions about COVID that if you're up there saying you illegally did shows, you could really upset people in the crowd, and not just like turn them off, but like literally piss them the fuck off.
Okay.
So I'm not mad at you, Luke. I love you, but
well, okay. I will say that like my frustration that has fueled some of this joke is the pushback from like my peers from like, you're like, you do know that you can live your life and I can live my life. Like, I don't know. It's a wishy-washy. I get what you're saying, and I would probably remove the word illegal, but the teenager in me is going like, fuck anyone for giving me shit for me living my life. Like,
I understand. And that, I think that is the controversy of adding that into your act, is that it creates that kind of clash. And I think and that's why I was like, oh, I don't want this to create a weirdness right now, but I just wanted to be honest that I'm not judging you for the choices that you made, but I'm just saying audiences sitting and listening to you, there are people who, I don't know, maybe people right now who are actually going to shows wouldn't care.
No, that's what I'm.
But I mean, in the future, when people sacrifice a lot and then they hear somebody just like, fuck it, they might really take offense at that. And just so you're aware, it could kill part of the audience and part of the crowd. And you have such a rolling act that you don't want to lose them when you're saying that over you living your life. It's a difference between you living your life and you flaunting your life. I guess that's how people might take it differently.
Because I also, to say just up top, and I think this will make it so we don't need to go back and forth, I have a different perception of the situation. And that's also, we can go, that's not a comedy thing, but like there's a bazillion reasons how that can be facilitated. But I'm trying to go, okay, what's a joke that I can write about this transition, this part of my life, and make it relatable? Because I think a lot of people have had to to keep it safe, have hooked up with an ex. And that's been a weird thing. Yeah. Or because I do feel like it is like a relationship, my relationship with it. And because I am saying I don't feel good about this, but the alternative is an absence. And then also people are like, nah, the shaking of the finger is also annoying because the fear is so nebulous. And I'll leave out illegal, but I'm saying like I even push back at going, hey man, I did a show that was completely illegal based off of what the government said, and you're still going to be mad at me. Makes me kind of go. And I'm trying to write jokes for an audience who's there, and also the audience that is there right now is not what I want all audiences to be from now on, because they're the people who are like, fuck it, pew 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 pew, and you're like, oh, you never wear a mask? Oh, hi. Yeah,
it's a pandemic, bro.
Believe me, it's a wishy-washy thing, but it is authentic to my perception of the situation, and I want to figure out a way to ideally express that in comedically and in the most palatable way possible. And if it does have punches, I want them to be intentional. If I do push an audience back, I want to do it with reason and have something to back it up. So I get what you're saying. And this is me. It's still a new idea. I think I've said it out loud like less than half a dozen times. It's clunky and I'm trying to tweak it.
Yeah. And I think a lot of what went in there and the comparisons were like when you were saying, I felt dirty, like don't get in my space, and you were conflicted about it all. That stuff was really funny. And I think you can talk about that without maybe bringing the illegal part up. I don't know, because I just think maybe that might, I don't know. You can play with it and see if it does turn off crowds, but and literally right now, the people who are out there I don't think are going to be the crowds that are going to be turned off by that message. But you know, just from an audience perspective, that it could create that kind of a backlash. Okay, I loved the line about book club getting way out of hand.
Totally.
And then when you mentioned Harry Potter, I almost fell out of my chair because I've had somebody hand me a Harry Potter book and I was like, what is this, fucking Dianetics? Like, is this Scientology? Because I just said I'd never read the book and somebody handed me Harry Potter and I'm like, oh, this is creepy. So I loved the Slytherin part, and I think adding Dianetics into another book is hysterical because there's been a lot of Scientology stuff recently. And you could say, you know, what is Harry, like, there's other books like Dianetics or Harry Potter, you know, like progress backwards, you know, like do the big culty one and then Harry Potter.
Okay.
Like Harry Potter's worse than the cult.
Well, yeah, because the Harry Potter stuff, I like it because it is clearly like, you're not going to be religious, but it's an out. It's a dismount out of me bashing religion. I like that because it's a thought I had today, and I clunkily kind of said it, but I want to make the comparison that like QAnon was basically bred on Facebook, and that's just another book. Like it's a book. And, and I'm not sure how to tie those exactly together, but
you do know there's another book, Dianetics, Harry Potter, Facebook.
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah,
you know,
I would have to watch
Facebook, like say 2 books and then Facebook.
Yeah, but if I need to save the Harry Potter for the end, otherwise I can't transition out. That needs to be the final note. Yeah.
There's Dianetics, Facebook, Harry Potter.
Yeah, well, I could do some quick side like Dianetics. Like, do you want to think like Tom Cruise thinks? He's such a fast runner. Like, you're like, you hop on Facebook. Do you want to think that everyone's made from lizards? The world is flat. Hop on Facebook. Like,
I think that would be so funny. You know, and then Harry Potter as the because those two are both so controversial. And then everybody loves Harry. So my mom used to call me a muggle, and it creeped me out. So I love it. I think the Harry Potter bit is so genius. And even though Harry Potter's been around a long time, it just creates and people are still talking that way, and it makes the Harry Potter material timely the way you were doing it. When it could seem out of date because Harry Potter's old now, but you made it so timely and such a cult kind of a thing. It really worked as like a Harry Potter cult. I think throwing Dobby in there somewhere would be funny. The house elf.
I want to be a little bit careful making too many references, because if I can keep because I'm already doing the house thing. I think those are the main ones. If I start bringing in characters, it might get a little bit convoluted. I was worried about trying to do, because it's not a recent movie, but it is like it's like Star Wars. It's a part of the culture. But also in recent news, J.K. Rowling, she has a bunch of issues being perceived as transphobic and stuff like that. So I don't know if I want to jump into that, but there is more about that. And then I could even mind talking about religious leaders. But you guys are, because I do think it's funny that QAnon, I do think it's an offshoot of Christianity, and we only think it's crazy because we're watching it happen. If it had already happened, we'd be like, what are you gonna do? They're Lutheran. That's what
well, and if you do leave it brief references, it was funny. If you add some in, I would say almost go overboard, have detailed knowledge of Harry Potter, and then you're like, not that I watch it or anything, not that I know anything about it.
That is sort of what I want to. I don't want to state that. I want to imply it, because I've read the books, I've seen the movies. I'm still fucking annoyed. By me saying you seem like a Slytherin, I'm like, you seem like a waste of my fucking time, which is a Slytherin thing to say. With that's me showing an awareness of the source material as I mock it, which is also what I want to do with religion. I don't want to just go, aren't you stupid for thinking something? And be like, no, aren't I also stupid because I thought the thing that you still think? Maybe you should change. Anyways, that's me being...
I love the line. That's such a Slytherin thing to say. The
Yeah.
line "That's such a Slytherin thing to say" was beautiful. It was so funny.
Yeah.
It was just really. I really liked it. It was classic Luke. Energy was there. Kind of your persona shone through. I'm not
Cool.
saying that right, but yeah,
Backward.
it was great. I'm sorry if I derailed my comments into a bigger
No.
discussion, but I just thought that would be good, honest feedback. So
No,
thank you for listening and being open to it.
Oh, absolutely. Sorry, I just try to step in because I'm still not calibrated for this sort of interaction. No, I appreciate the feedback because at this point, y'all my peers, and I want to be aware of things, and also I want to write jokes that work well and don't because I'm at some point down the road, I'm hoping to have a good enough joke that it sticks around where I can convey it and I can figure out the words around, and if it does upset someone, then I can change it from there, work from there. And the word illegal just popped out of my head while I was doing it. That's not. I'm going to remove it. So don't worry. But cool. Thank you. Appreciate
Well,
it.
and I really thought the best chunk of it was that religious material was golden. Like that was just, you really need to keep working that material because it's so funny, Luke. It's so
Very
funny. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Kara, Rosa. Oh, you'll go to Kara second. Yes. Sorry, I was first. Shit, I just talked forever.
No. The religion stuff is so good. That's so good. I mean, so funny. I just threw in a couple things with the not the right shoes. I'm not wearing the right shoes. Really funny. You said not stretched out. I thought you could throw in, I'm not hydrated. Just ate some fettuccine. There's so much you can choose from there, but yeah, I think the shoes too. More. Yeah.
Sorry, I just remembered a line. I like to say something like, "Oh, that explains why we haven't been talking that much this last month. You've been training."
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been very much on me, but like there's a couple lines that I would think would be fun to kind of throw at the person who's dumping me. Like you don't want to be malicious and shitty, but like you can get some joke jabs in.
Yeah, for sure. What was I going to say? Oh, I just wrote down after I finish a show, stand-ups like, don't be so clingy, or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, because the way I say it feels clunky. It just feels, I don't know, like I want to convey the whole, like, I want more.
Yeah.
You're not going to get it, but you want to be cool. But at the same time, you're like, this isn't satisfying.
Right. Yeah, I don't know why don't be so clingy came to mind because it's so kind of rude. I have posted
typical Kara.
What a bitch. Posting pictures with X. I had something. Oh, okay. No, I can't remember why I wrote that one down. But the religion, the book club, and then I was thinking I wrote this down, when you're on a date and with the girl who likes Harry Potter. And I just wrote down, I can't be with a muggle because, a muggle isn't normal or not a magical person. But I wouldn't want it. I would not. I like the Slytherin thing so much. But when you were starting the date, that's came into my mind. Like, I can't. I'm sorry, I can't be with a muggle because you're not into it. But
that just reminded me because also this is, I don't know if I'd even want to tag onto this because this sounds like the start of another thing, but the term mudblood is the most offensive sounding pejorative I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
Like it just sounds
in Harry Potter.
So anyway, us four white people should discuss, but like it sounds like the worst like racial epithet you can say. Fucking mudblood. You're like, what? No.
I know. I think the same thing. A mudblood. It's awful.
So maybe it also shouldn't be that surprising that the person who came up with that might be a little transphobic too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see how the Asian character in the movie was like?
She knew about bigotry too well.
Yeah, a little too.
Oh, JK.
So,
what?
Oh, I was just going to say.
Anything else, Kara?
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Oh, sorry, Luke.
No. It's always great. Luke, were you going to ask me something?
Oh, I was just going to say something along the lines of, what is it? With her, J.K. Rowling still being, I lost it. Ping pong. That's what happens.
I'm
You get
sorry.
That's good.
No.
It'll probably pop back into my head as soon as we're done with
Okay.
the Zoom call.
Well, let's keep it rolling. It's getting late. How about we let Matt do his comments?
Yeah, just quickly, like, echoing with, I loved the Slytherin joke. I always love the, I'm gonna be disdainful of something, but secretly I know a lot about it. That's the class. And I think Harry Potter is never, like, kind of evergreen at this point. Like, it's always, like, it's been in the culture for a while. So, like, I think you can always get away with talking about it. And I feel like, as per that last discussion, if you wanted to do something about how Mudblood sounds like the most offensive slur ever created, that'd be good material to go with, kind of.
Yeah, it's a thought I've had for a while. I just didn't like it. It's one piece of a premise. Like, it needs to be more. I could probably tie it into this. And I do think saying, like, oh, it's no wonder she's kind of has some backwards thinking. She's also the person who made this term, which is like the distilled version of.
And even be like, oh, you guys shouldn't even repeat it. I'm only going to say it once. Mudblood or MB. I'm just,
Or the M word, yeah.
The M word.
The M word.
I don't know if I want to. I don't want to be the white comic being like, now that's the M word.
True.
Yeah, fair. I mean, whatever you
It's
feel
pretty
comfortable
it's pretty bad,
with.
though. When you're saying it's the most offensive racial slur, I mean,
I think I would choose different phrasing because that makes it sound like the racial slurs don't directly offend me. Usually I hear them, I go, maybe you should, whatever. Give me social justice points now. But I'm saying, like, it's not my opinion on this doesn't matter. I would phrase it in like, to me, that sounds like just like that applies to anyone.
Well, you could even say how, like, I don't know, like, white people could, be cringing at Mudblood, but then, like, hearing somebody getting, I don't know.
Yeah, I also don't want to write a joke. I don't want to put a lot of time and effort into another white dude talking about, like, racial slurs. Like,
True.
Fair enough. Yeah.
It's already been done.
Okay,
So
Luke, we got a comment in our feed. It says, "Mudblood coming from Luke is very offensive, not because of the word, but because of the shaved head." Okay, there's some feedback.
yeah, I mean, I am
It's
aware
the
of what I
most
look
offensive
like.
wizard slur.
Dude, that is. You're like, you thought you knew what the worst thing a grand wizard could call you. Nope. All right. Okay.
No. All right. Matt, do you have any other feedback?
No, that's all from
That's
me.
it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys.
Alright. Great job, Luke. That was a good discussion, everybody. Way to bring a lot to the table, Luke.
Thank you.
Okay, Kara, you got a lot to live up with. Let's go with all your edgy shit.
Oh my
All the
god,
edgy
what?
shit. Abortion jokes.
Oh
Let's
yeah,
go.
yeah, totally. Give me my baby.
All right, everybody. Kara Rossellini.
Okay. The weirdest thing happened just this week. I was at the grocery store fully masked, and I got hit on by this really old guy, like 70 years old, and he's like, hey, maybe we could just go outside and have a cup of coffee. And I got so nervous and so stressed out because I didn't know how to tell him that I already have a dad, and I'm not willing to jeopardize that relationship as much as I'd like to help him figure out how to use his iPhone, my loyalties with my own father. Okay, so I really like millennials. Matt, I like you. I like Luke. I do. I like millennials, and I feel like they get a super bad rap, right? They're the older generations like Gen X and boomers and stuff are always saying that, millennials are lazy and they're entitled and all that, stuff. But I realized the beef that the older generations have with millennials is simply that they were loved. You know, nobody gave a shit about our generation. No, there was no fruit in my lunch. There were no parameters around my Oreo intake. And, you know, my fetus was certainly not getting in the way of my mother's martinis and cigarettes. So don't feel bad, millennials. I like you. And I feel like it's so odd that we rip on other generations there with no basis. You know, I mean, it's like hating somebody because they're a Sagittarius, right? I mean, if they're a Sagittarius with Scorpio rising, like fuck them. They're so weird and sexual superiority and their chakra spotting. But in general, I feel like we should build each other up. You know, boomers are like the generation of hope, you know, and Gen Xers, I mean, MTV generation, there's not anything better than that. And millennials, I mean, look at you and your skin. It's so taut and supple, you know. Anyway, so I feel like we should give them a break. I wonder often what my little kids' generation will be, the COVID generation. I wonder what type of people will come out of that. I feel like either they will never ever leave home, or they will never ever talk to their parents again because they've walked in on them too many times having sex because the kids haven't left the house in a year. I think their biggest rebellion as the COVID generation will be not washing hands. You can't make me, Mom. You can't make me sanitize my hands. Yeah, there's that. I think they'll have a lot of dreams, a lot of bad dreams about things that are 6 feet. They're going to have real issue with the number 6. I do worry about that for my children. I don't know. I found it very odd in the beginning of the whole COVID thing. A lot of random, you know, people like to give advice to parents in general, you know, especially mothers. But there was a lot of enjoy your time, teach them to do laundry, teach them life lessons. And that's great up front. You know, you're right. I'm going to have some hope here and I'm going to spend the first few months doing that. But after a few months, I feel like you're not allowed to give that type of advice to parents anymore. I think that was total bullshit. What was I going to end on? Oh, yes, I was a latchkey kid. I don't know if millennials, I'm not sure you know what this is, but a latchkey kid was a child whose parents both worked. And it was sort of like the initial shaming of mothers. It was a very passive aggressive way to shame mothers who went to work. And the kids were called latchkey kids because they wore their key around their neck, like sort of like a soldier with dog tags of loneliness, you know. Just it's the kids who went home and watched Knots Landing and you know, were pretty rogue, actually. And I remember worrying and saying, Mom, watching the news, am I a latchkey kid? Is that what I am? And she's like, oh, honey, no, you put your key in your backpack. We are not trashy like that. No, there's a pocket for that. Okay. That's good. I'm done. Thank you for listening. Wow, that was winding all over town.
I liked it. I thought that was fun. I was a latchkey kid, so
yeah.
But I kept my key in the pocket too. So I really
we're very elite.
I really appreciated all of the throwbacks. It was very nostalgic from what I think we're like almost the exact same age.
Yeah.
74 babies, right?
Yeah.
So we are the coolest MTV generation. And I think playing around with some of that is really fun. I love the line where the millennials don't know about being latchkey kids. I think expanding on that, we've learned like thanks to us, thanks to Gen Xers, we've gotten our revenge. Now parents are called helicopter parents. Instead of shaming the kids, we shame the parents, you know.
Right. Oh, that's so true too.
Yeah. So that's like the little shame revenge that we have towards the next generation of parents. I think that would be funny. I really loved the millennial skin. I think we all did. I saw everybody's face just smile and laugh when you, because I don't think any of us were expecting the taut skin line. That was really good. I thought of a line when you were talking about the grocery store. I already have Dad, I don't want to jeopardize that relationship, but let's discuss the will before I commit.
Okay, I like that.
I have an inheritance already. What can you bring to the table? You know, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be fun to check credentials or check bank accounts,
That-
assets, maybe.
Yeah.
Like, show me your assets. Yeah, you could add that line in there too. Yeah, I used to want to see his ass. Now I want to see his assets. Yeah. That could be funny. Yeah, I thought that was really good. I like the raising kids during COVID. You know, I'm sure some of that will morph into my material too, because as a parent, that's just been freaking golden. And we all have similar experiences, but very unique experiences at that. So
Totally.
it was fun to hear you talk about you raising, and I think you can just expand on some of that and tell some stories or something. I think that would be fun to hear.
Okay.
Good
Thank
job.
you, Kate.
I love hearing you guys do comedy again. I miss
I
you.
know. Me too.
Yeah, I didn't miss you,
Fun.
but I've enjoyed hanging with you. Matt, your turn.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the latchkey kid thing has a lot of material, and the taut skin line was very good as well. And like even the latchkey thing, like I was thinking like another direction is like, well, if you can't wear the key around your neck, is if it's like, are you afraid it's gonna be stolen or something, or is it like something like that? Or I really liked your set. Yeah,
Thanks, Matt.
no worries.
I'm writing it down.
Oh, there is one comment that's kind of funny. I want to share it with you. Kind of funny.
Okay.
That was rude to the commenter. It was kind of funny. Nice way to miss the mark. No. Okay, so supple millennial is a great word. It's such a great word. You can eat brunch off that face. Avocado toasted pores. I think hot skin, it's all the fucking avocado toast or something. You know, Korean avocado. I think that's all funny to add avocado toast.
That could be a fun, like, aside thought. You're like, is it the avocado? Is the fatty oils in avocado? Like
The omega?
Shit, they figured it out. It's the fucking avocado toast.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
You're genius.
That's really good.
All right, Luke, you're up, sir.
I like the taut skin. The dad thing, I think adding like
Sorry, that sounded creepy.
yeah, my bad. That was unintentional. Like,
oh my god, that's funny.
But the idea that you're willing to like trade, I think is I'm thinking for, because that just adds a second punch to
yeah, I love that. Okay.
You were basically saying like I wrote this down and I don't know if this makes sense, but you basically explained like kind of like anger like raised you into anger. Does that make sense? Like you kind of made a thing where it was just like, oh, you're raised with love. I like, you know, cigarettes, drinking, latchkey. Like maybe anger's not the right word, but you kind of had this theme of like you were mad at them for not say what?
Neglect.
Yeah. I don't know. Like there was a comedic thought tied to this. I just wrote it down where I was like, oh, you were making, that was like the angle for a little while. Because I also think latchkey is not a specifically your generation thing. Like I know people that are like in my age group that had a similar experience. So if you don't make it directly generational, maybe lean it again. I was raised this happened a lot in my generation, but not exclusively. There's a funny way to say that, but it makes it be more inclusive than just kind of going, like putting up a barrier.
Right. Yeah.
But
I-
the latchkey line was great in the backpack. Sorry, I wanted to give a compliment at the end. I felt too critical for like 30 seconds.
No, I want to hear it. Fuck off, Luke.
Sorry, I'm just trying.
No, I'm so kidding. Thank you.
No.
Luke.
I like trashy, discreet. You're just like, no, we don't do that in this household. You hide it in the bag. We're discreet.
Oh,
Yeah, and you could even use that as an opportunity to, if you explain your parents' situation a little bit earlier in the joke, like my mom did this, my dad did this, and then you can add jokes to that interaction.
I gotcha.
Punchlines to that. You're just like, they work 9 to 5 at a bowling alley and blah blah blah. You're like, I've been picking up pins. Like I don't know. There's something there. You would have to dive into your brain to figure it out, but there's
I
something.
like. Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's fun. Oh, and one other thought, when you're talking about people giving advice about like your kid, like you share this and something like this, was there to speak bluntly, was there more of a payoff or was there more of a point than just going, stop fucking doing that?
No, I just literally started talking about it. There was no joke there. And it's not really, I don't usually talk about being irritated by people telling parents what to do, even though it's really irritating. So that was just like seeing what happens.
Oh, okay.
Seeing if any magic struck. Yeah, go ahead.
The thought that I had is that you only have so many things to teach. Like,
Yeah.
You're like, I already taught them the 10 things I know. I already taught them. That took 2 months. I need to learn more to teach them more. Like, I'm busy, man.
Right.
I have a day job. I'm also a teacher. I'm stuck at the grocery store listening to you talk to me.
Right. I only have so much. I like that. I'm writing that down.
And that's all I had. Taunt Dadskin. That's what I was trying to say.
Thank you so much.
Oh my gosh, you guys. I enjoy casual things, mainly casual butt stuff. What? Oh, I don't know who joined our party, but they like casual butt stuff. I should not read the comments, huh? You guys, it was so fun hanging out with you and playing and getting to laugh and hear your jokes. Oh my God. I miss this and I enjoy doing the workshop for this. And it was such a pleasant surprise to have 2 people that I just think extremely highly of. And then also a wonderful thing to meet a new friend in Ontario. Matt, it was so good to meet you. I hope we can do this again together and work together. That's the coolest thing about COVID is how we've got to really know comedians from all over the world. It's kind of, I met a last show I hosted, she was in Tokyo, Japan, and it was wonderful. I think we became instant besties. So I'm just like, I'm really here for the friends. I'm lonely. I'm just stuck with my kids all the time.
I know.
COVID's got me, y'all. Okay, we're gonna go around and just give a quick shout out of what you got coming up. Plug what you need to plug. Go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, I don't have much coming up, but if you want to follow my Instagram, it's @BatmanDura. I post the occasional food or nature pic. It's not really related to my comedy at this point, but why not give it a follow? That's what I have going on right now.
Okay, Matt, I will follow you if I see a video of you cleaning your fucking counter.
I mean, comedy. I'm not. Okay, my counters really are dirty. You got me.
All right, clean them tonight. Mom says so. Okay, Luke.
You find all my stuff on lukeseveride.com. It's spelled right here. There we go. They're right there. Or you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook. Just search my name. It's always that handle. Find me. I'll do things. And when stand-up is fully back, I'm going to be fully back because it's the most fun.
Yay, it is
beast. Fun. He's a beast.
Thank
really,
you.
Check out Luke and Matt. Go to Matt. I know Luke for sure. I can vouch. I don't know what weird shit's on Matt's Instagram, but it's worth a look.
It's very nice.
All right, Kara.
Yeah, so I'm doing a show on Saturday, but I don't it's a mom show. I don't know where we can find that, but if you want to follow me, I'm at Cara Rossellini. Everything's Cara Rossellini, just one long word. Follow me, but I have that show. I can't even remember what it's called. I'm the worst. But it's gonna be really fun.
You guys, Cara is awesome. She really knows how to sell the sizzle.
I can't remember. I'm irritated that I can't remember that. Oh, all right.
Really, she'll post it on her Facebook and on her grams and
Totally.
everywhere in the nets.
Yes.
You can catch me all week making food for my fucking kids. That's all I do. And making chocolate cocoa bombs.
Oh my God,
Like
that's
chocolate, I am the
amazing.
chocolatier. I make cocoa bombs. I made chocolate covered strawberries. That's what I'm plugging is my chocolate tearing right now. But I'm pretty damn good at it, I have to say.
Yeah,
I have surprised myself. I will bomb your cocoa, okay? So, you guys, thank you. You know what? There is something I need to plug. I am the host every Tuesday of the workshop. So please come back and hang out with us and watch another round of comedians. Workshop it up, everybody. Have a good night, and we'll see you. I guess there's another workshop tomorrow, so keep an eye out. Oh, look at that. Carol Freeman said Cara Rossellini's show promo was the best. It was. She's a rock star.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So, it's so Gen X of you. That promo was so Gen X. Like, somewhere. I don't know. It's a mom show.
I can't
All right,
remember.
thanks for tuning in, everybody. Have a wonderful night. Keep laughing.